Alright guys, good afternoon. This is a quick preview of the colony building layer in Exodus. This is the very first version of this, and it has most of the most basic features that I want in the colony layer. So the first thing you can see is we've got some panels, we have a resource bar at the top, we have the build system here, and we have the terrain. And if you scroll the mouse wheel in and out, you can zoom up and down the terrain. What you can see has just happened there. We've just gone into the nighttime cycle, and the sun gradually rotates around the planet to give you a day-night cycle. That doesn't currently do anything other than look pretty. And on the build panel, we've got a build queue, which shows you which buildings you're currently constructing. We have this value here, this resource, which is called production, and this works in a very Civilization or Civ 5-esque way of different buildings contribute to this value, and the higher this value is, the faster you can build things. And you can see each of the buildings in the list below has a corresponding value here, which is how many points it takes to construct it. So with 1 point here, a colony hub will take 5 turns to construct. This list here is our available buildings. The ones that are highlighted here are available to build because we currently have the resources to build them. Everything else you can see is greyed out because we currently don't have the resources required to build them. And you can see a very rough overview of what resources you need next to each one. Eventually these are going to expand out with more information, but right now that's all they've got. So the very first building in a colony that you have is a colony hub. If I scroll in here, you can see you move it around on the screen, it shows you a green outline. If you move it onto a mountain or impassable terrain, it will show up red. So if I pop that there, oh, excuse me, you can see that constructs, and we're done. So we still don't have anything else available to build because we don't have enough power, which is shown up here in the resources bar. And what we have here is population growth, the amount of housing we have available, which you can see has just gone up to 30 because the settlers have constructed temporary housing, which is called sprawl. And that the sprawl mechanic basically means that from your civilian buildings you get like a radial build-up of sort of almost temporary housing, like slum housing, which is basically people arriving and needing to find somewhere to live. The next resource we have is food and water, which you can see have now gone into minus levels because I've been talking and not paying attention to the game. And you can now see as we've run out of food and water, our population is slowly declining. The next resource we have here is supplies, and these are used to construct buildings. We have power, and on the right we have the value, the amount that we have, and on the left we've got the amount that we're using, and then we've got a scroll bar which shows us how far along we are, like what percentage of the power we're using. We've then got a resource called ore, a resource called metal, which are very basic stand-ins for the more advanced resource system that's going to come later. And then finally we've got a resource called money. And basically money is used at the moment just as part of the purchasing buildings cost. So we don't have much power, our population is declining because we don't have any food, so we need to sort that out. So we'll create some solar panels by clicking the icon and then clicking on the ground. And you can see as we build up more power, we will get more of these options open. So the next two buildings we need to sort our water problem. So if I build a water extractor here, that will then start contributing to our water value, and you'll see the water start going back up again. Ta-da! And you can see the number beside each one is how much of that resource we're using. It's like the rate of change in that resource. So we're now getting 5 water per turn. Similarly, we need food, so we'll want to build something like a hydroponic farm. And if I place that there, you'll see the next mechanic that comes in is the road mechanic when it builds. Come on, do it. So what we've got here is a road with vehicles that move up and down it, and all of the sort of commercial, or all the industrial buildings and all the production buildings need to be connected together with roads. These are automatically connected to the nearest available building. So we've now got food, we've now got water, our population is back up to the plus 4% population growth. And I've got to say this is running on a very fast rate at the moment just for testing. So we've got those sorted out, we're running low on supplies, so our next building that we want to build is a factory. And this is basically a small fabrication system that gives you supplies over time, and it gives you a boost to the production. So you'll see when that completes, our production will go up to 16 because it gives us 10 extra production, and you'll see our supplies start growing by 5 per turn. So our food is going back down again. We have reached our power limit as well. So then it's just a case of balancing things out. So now we've got some power reserves, we can build, let's build an aquaponic farm, which is a much more efficient version of the farm, and it's like sort of the tech level 2 structure for it. Eventually structures are going to have an upgrade system, so you'll be able to click the structure and upgrade it. The same with the roads. As you can see, our sprawl has gradually been spreading out as I've been talking, as more people are coming along, although because we've now got negative water, we need another water extractor. Whoops, can't build it there. Misclicking. There. All producing water. And basically the gameplay at the moment is balancing this out and making sure that your population is going up, your power is met, and all that sort of stuff. So probably for like testing, if there wants to be a competition amongst the testers, who can send me the highest population screenshot? I'm interested to see. I've got it up to about 500 in this current build, but you're then starting to juggle stuff really fast, and without the addition of like trade between colonies, importing and exporting food, that sort of stuff, I reckon it'd be quite difficult to build a colony this way. The other feature we've got here is show resources, and this pops up little bubbles above each of the buildings. You can see our colony hub here has currently has 13 housing units around it. That should be 130. I think that's a mistake, and it's producing 5 power. You can see our hydroponic farm is using 1 water, using 2 power, and producing 5 food. Our aquaponic farm is using 1 water, 5 power, and producing 10 food, so it's a much more efficient system as far as water goes. Our factory is using 2 power, producing 5 supplies. Water is producing 5 water each and using 1 power each, and then each of our solar panels is producing 10 power. Yeah, so the other things, what is our, oh, we're out of power. So there is going to be a level 2 power structure, which means you don't need so many solar panels, but at the moment there's only that. The other building, the resource producing building, is the commercial district, and this is another civilian building, so it also acts as a sprawl hub, so people will start moving in around this building as well, and you'll get the gradual expansion of sprawl out. What's useful about this building is it actually produces revenue from your colonists, so the more people that live around it, the more revenue it produces per turn, and you'll gradually see this ticking up, that each turn we're producing, based on 0.8 revenue per person, we're producing that much. Yeah, so that's basically where it is. What I'd just like to see people play it in the test group and see what people think, find any bugs. The bug reporting thing, this is mainly for the testers rather than the people on the Facebook group. The bug reporting is all the same, so I'll set up the form for that in a minute so you can check it. You can download the thing from the Dropbox link, and yeah, have fun playing it. Thank you very much for watching. Next thing I'm going to be doing is a lot of the sort of the back end stuff for logging in and logging out users and that sort of thing, and I'll be getting all of this databased up so that it's persistent over things. At the moment, if I exit the game, I lose all of this. What I want to be able to do next is you exit the game and you can come back 2 hours later and you've continued to build stuff up. And at that point I'll turn the turn timer, which is currently 1 turn per second, that will be down to like 1 turn per minute. But there'll be much finer control over things. So there will be some actions that take less than 1 turn. Yeah. And there'll be some actions, like sometimes some of these buildings will take 2 turns to produce this, or 5 turns to produce a resource or whatever. So yeah, if you want to play around with the ore and the metal, you can see we've got mines, refineries and foundries. Basically mines produce ore, refineries produce metal, and foundries turn metal into supplies at the moment. Yeah, okay, great, and enjoy, have fun. Thanks for watching guys, rock on, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.